GoPro action. There you go.
Four, 3, 2, go Jim. 1.
These are the moments that you dream about.
Loves it up, and he gets it. Are you kidding me? What an interception! My, oh my! Huge hit. Ball is out. The ball is out. That was sick. Unbelievable. We keep thinking we've seen it all, and we never have we?
What it do? It is the kickoff presented by Ram Trucks. Hey, we are in the middle of a college football playoff buffet. We already had the first four, Gary Striewski, Randy Scott. Is that not how you say it?
Yeah, no, that's how you say it.
Is that not how you say it?
I usually hit the T at the end.
Oh, say it one more time. Say it for us.
The buffet?
The buffet.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with the opening round of games. Gary, were any of them close?
Excuse me?
Were any of these games close?
No, I thought you were speaking of clothes, which I said, oh, you had a buffet of clothes to choose from, but you decided to dress as an insurance salesman on the kickoff presented by Ram.
I value consistency. Where's my camera? I can't find it. I value consistency. I value
all
it.
Season, right?
And I feel like all season long we've trended a little bit more casual. Been a couple of casual Carls.
We have been.
And then you decided to go full gym bro.
Well, here's the thing, man. I'm just trying to stay comfy. I'm just trying to stay light. All right?
For sure.
I'm trying to stay light on my toes.
I do like to anchor light.
You know what I'm saying? So, because we're getting into the home stretch, Randy. So I want to focus.
Brought it back.
I'm going to focus. Keep my eyes on the prize.
All right, I do want to dive into the first round of games.
Let's do that.
And none of them were close. Do you feel like home field advantage?
Yes, 100%.
All of the home teams won.
It was awesome.
Do you feel like that played a massive role in what we saw?
All of the home teams covered by exponential amounts.
Sizable margin.
And this was awesome. All of these people were like, oh, it's watered down, 12 teams, and a handful of them didn't deserve to be there. Okay, dude, what do you want to complain about here? First, it wasn't a big enough field, and now the teams aren't evenly stacked 1 to 12. What do you want? We're inevitably going to get 14, and then we're going to get 16. But the NCAA tournament has 65 freaking teams, man. Is that too big? No. You set the bracket up for possibility and potential to have upsets. And that first one that we saw in Happy Valley, a lot of people were like, SMU is the dark horse.
Yeah.
But because they were playing at Beaver Stadium. What?
Keep going.
But because they were riding a hot hand after just running out of time in the ACC championship, could SMU have gone into Happy Valley and beat Penn State?
Yeah.
We were all high on our own supply with that one, myself included. But 110,000 in a whiteout condition cheering on Penn State. That atmosphere was awesome, and I feel like I said something that caught Randy's attention that I have yet to realize.
No, it's just you keep lumping us all in with you when you're like, did we all see SMU as a dark horse?
We did.
No, we did not.
Yes, we did.
Now, I give you so much credit because all week long, you were banging that drum. You're like, SMU,
I was.
look
This
out.
was the drum, and I was
SMU.
saying,
And you're like,
that was the drum.
right, but I don't want to say that you were like nautical theme Pashmina Afghans. I don't want to say that you were on a boat. I don't want to say that it was a lazy Sunday, but you were a lonely island.
Okay.
Because you were on that thing by yourself.
I wasn't a lonely island, and taking a look at the facts in front of me, which are Penn State oftentimes lays an egg in big games. Yes, they're against bigger opponents.
Sure.
Ohio State, Michigan,
this was not a
specifically
brand name.
speaking. Understood. Yes, I was looking at the facts that James Franklin, 1-14 against AP top 5 teams. Again, SMU, not one of those. But I was using my context clues in that Penn State doesn't show up for big games. And I am glad that having home field advantage in the opening round of these playoffs reasserts the fact that they are important, they are awesome. And for all these people complaining about, oh, we're top heavy and the last 3-4 teams don't deserve to be in, this is awesome, because you know what would have been equally as cool is if one of these teams that were traveling into one of these hostile environments, whether it be Indiana at Notre Dame, whether it be Tennessee at Ohio State, if they would have upset one of those teams at their house, we'd have been so hyped about it.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time. This is the first year, man. Let it ride.
No.
The home field advantage definitely a massive
Right.
advantage.
Okay, so home field advantage is gone here in round number 2. Average margin of victory north of 19 points.
Yeah.
There was one lead change.
Everybody scored 38.
Across the 4 games in the first round. In the second round of games, if you had to, again, there's no home field to point to. Who has an advantage? What is an advantage in any of the 4 games that jumps out to you?
I mean, listen, let's go trial by deduction, right? Yeah. Georgia does not have an advantage. Notre Dame playing hot, playing well, and Georgia has to play their backup quarterback.
Backup quarterback, Gunner Stockton.
So the advantage not with them. Oregon, Ohio State, both of those teams have to tape out on one another. All right, and Ohio State is coming in here, again, riding a hot hand after dismantling Tennessee. Oregon, we're going to get into them in a little bit, but they're on a 3-week layoff after beating Penn State in the Big Ten Championship. Arizona State. So are some people saying this is the weakest link?
Yeah, I think
remaining?
So. I think so. Well, no, Boise State might be it.
Okay,
but
I was going to say, right now I would say Penn State because they're playing, in my opinion, the best remaining football player in this tournament, which is Ashton Jeanty.
So overall, then, let's just make this like a sort of a binary yes/no thing. Who has the advantage? Is it a team? Are it the teams that sat and had the bye, or the teams that played? Who has the advantage? Do you have an advantage by playing and keeping in your routine?
Gosh, dude, as of right now, it's an even split.
It is.
Because Georgia waited, but they're playing with their backup. Boise State waited, and they have the best player remaining. Okay, so that cancels out Georgia. Oregon waited, but they have to play what some would say is the hottest team right now, red hot, in Ohio State, who, again, lost to Oregon in Eugene earlier in the season, so they want revenge. And Texas right now, okay, maybe there's questions.
Okay.
But who, other than Matt Berry, believes in Arizona State?
I know, Kenny Dillingham.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a coin flip. It's a push.
Yeah.
Which is great. Which is great for us tuning in New Year's Eve to the Fiesta Bowl and then New Year's Day for all of the other 3 quarterfinals.
Yeah. And here's to just having more competitive, more compelling rounds of games in the quarterfinals.
We had our chance to enjoy it. I need you to hit the reset button.
We're chasing memories, man. Let's go make a damn good memory tonight. My, oh my. Goosebumps, baby. Goosebumps. Are you kidding me?
Rolling on. We put the quarterfinals in our focus right now, and you mentioned Penn State and Boise State, and you picked against Penn State last week.
And I'm doing it again.
Are you really? You're going to go with Boise State? Okay.
I'm doing it again.
Maybe that informs this question because what we saw, it was a blowout last week. It was Penn State rolling against SMU, but it's really the Penn State defense that got the job done early on, allowed the offense to sort of get its legs under it. Do you see struggles for the Penn State offense this week, or do you think they'll be able to come out of the gates pretty strong?
Okay, offensively, we didn't see them struggle against SMU, and the 2 things we know about this matchup is defense travels, and so too do running games. And which one do you trust more?
I mean,
I'm going with Ashton Jeanty. Yes, Penn State, second in the Big Ten in total defense, only behind Ohio State, and they looked every bit.
The linebackers are
They looked every bit as the top team, top defensive team in the Big Ten. But again, I don't see how and why we should, at this point, bail on what we've seen from Ashton Jeanty.
Okay.
He's we had him on SportsCenter. He's 100-something yards away from beating Barry Sanders all-time single-season rushing. And listen, they played far fewer games in 1988 than they do now. But Ashton Jeanty, what he's done this season, he's the only reason Boise State got a bye week, got into the quarterfinals. But sometimes that's the only reason you need. His linemen, we had him on. They're psychos.
Yeah.
They're psychos up there
they are.
in Boise, man. So I just think they got something special. Shoot. Other than Ohio State, Boise State is the only other team that played Oregon close this season. Second week of the year, they lost by 3.
Yeah, they did. And that was out at Oregon, too, by the way.
Give me Boise State. Listen, we're
straight up win.
We're
not a cover, straight up win.
We're gonna get an upset just by way of the R. Why can't it be this one?
Penn State's favored by 10.5 points.
I understand that.
Okay, straight up upset. Ashton Jeanty. Here's my only concern. And you see this. You mentioned the NCAA tournament, how it has 65 teams. Sometimes you get a team. I remember Florida Gulf Coast was this way.
Come on.
I remember some other schools. The kid last year, Oakland University, hit threes.
Now he's
a grown man.
Now he's selling insurance.
Yeah.
By the way, not Oakland, California.
No,
Oakland, Ohio?
Michigan.
Oakland, Michigan.
Yeah. But he's out there raining threes. If you're a 3-point shooting team, and we're trying to sort of cross-analogize what we're talking about. But if you're a three-point shooting team, you live by the three, you die by the three. If you are a running team, sometimes you can get a deficit too big to where, listen, like, you're not going to hit home runs. Penn State is not going to let Ashton Jeanty rip off a 75-yard touchdown run.
Well,
he's not.
I mean, that's what 14 other teams probably said before he didn't rush for less than 128 yards all season.
I know. He averages,
per game.
He averages $190 a game.
128 was the lowest, and he scored a touchdown in every single game.
Is that UNLV?
UNLV? No, it was actually Portland that kept him at 128, but he only had.
But he only played like first half?
He only had 11 carries.
Yeah, that'll work.
He had 11 carries.
That'll work.
UNLV, second closest.
All right.
But the second time he played him, he ran for over a bill 50.
So your pick is Boise State. I'm going to say Penn State because if you're a one-trick pony as it comes to an offense, it can't be running. It can't. It just can't. Army. There's a reason Army doesn't win bowls. You know what I'm saying?
Penn State's going to stack the box. They're going to have 7, 8. No, not 8. But
maybe
6, 7 defenders.
Dare that quarterback to beat you. I don't know. Let's go to speaking of quarterbacks. Let's go to Texas. Let's go to Clemson because this was a deceptive. What was that score?
38-24.
24. That was deceptive. It was a late touchdown by Texas. It was really a one-score game for most of the second half. Quinn Ewers is still battling that oblique injury. Still doesn't look right. When you look
and they didn't have Isaiah Bond, and at that point, yet still they still covered. They still won.
If you don't have you can be missing a wide receiver because your quarterback's not going to get him the football. It was really blue. It was their running back, their ground game. Actually, had two running backs who went off in that game. I don't know that they'll be able to duplicate that against Arizona State. But when you look at Texas, what concerns do you have at the quarterback spot?
I don't know, Randy, if we're manufacturing these issues with Quinn Ewers.
Okay.
Because when we have, our analysts on SportsCenter, the majority of them are like, why are we talking about this?
Oh, yeah, they're like, stop talking about Arch.
Sark has planted the flag in that Quinn is the guy.
Yeah.
Yes, there are packages, and we scheme up a couple of plays that you do see, and teams know about that Arch is going to go in there and play. So run pass option, short yardage, put him up in pistol, and he's either going to run, he's going to throw. I don't know if we're manufacturing this because Texas, they're 12-2. They beat, aside from Georgia, everybody they're supposed to beat. And Arizona State, I don't think, is going to be some special exception. And Arizona State,
I don't think so.
Very much like Boise State in that Cam Scatterboo, he is the straw that stirs the drink.
Right.
In that Arizona State offense, who is without their best wide receiver.
Correct.
So I think if Texas hops out to, a quick 2-score lead, we might see this one get out of hand pretty quick.
That's a wrap. Yeah. I think so too. You're right. There are definite parallels between Boise State and between Arizona State. It's a shame that we won't see a full-strength Sun Devil team because I really do think they could pose a problem for Texas. I think it could stress them on the defensive line, the likes of which there's a lot of Georgia in Arizona State, and we've seen what Georgia can do to Texas and has done.
So who are you going with?
Well, for Arizona State, they're 4-0 against ranked teams this season.
Yeah.
I feel like they're this beautiful mix of confident because they have the results, but also confident and sort of confident because of their head coach.
They don't know any better.
But they don't know any better as well. I feel like it's house money for them. I don't think they win straight up. I think to answer this question, though, can they hang with Texas? I absolutely think they can hang with Texas. Do you not vibe with that? Do you see more of a long-term blowout?
I think they can hang, even though that runs contradictory to what I just said. Is if Texas gets out to a hot start, they can put it away quickly. But that's not going to surprise me. What will surprise me is if they win.
All right. I want to get to Georgia because we've already talked about them.
Georgia's on upset alert.
You think Georgia is on upset alert at the hands of Notre Dame? You think Notre Dame can beat Georgia? Now, I want specifically with Gunnar Stockton.
Gunnar Stockton.
Very limited sample size.
Correct.
I know where this dude's from. I've covered that high school up there. Small high school.
Bacon Ball.
Rayburn County. Up in the mountains, up like in the Band of Brothers area, where they trained that for World War II.
I'm obviously very familiar.
Like Toccoa Falls area. Like it's up there. I don't know that I don't know that the moment's going to be too big for him, but I also don't know what at all to expect because we have such a small sample size against Texas.
It's going to be a home game for Georgia, playing basically, not too far away from Athens there in New Orleans. Gosh, Notre Dame looks so good though. But beating Indiana, are we all in agreement that Indiana was sort of...
You said frauds. I wasn't sure.
Seen as a touch fraudulent?
A little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Georgia is, specifically the defense.
Yeah.
But I have questions about the offense. He did enough to allow them to win the SEC championship.
Sure.
But Carson Beck, for all of his ills and his turnovers late, he could fling it. And a lot of receivers, they were...
Arm talent's crazy.
They led SEC in drops this season. So it wasn't all on Carson Beck. But
double cheese?
Yeah.
Just a little beef on top of
just
beef?
a little beefy layer.
Just a juicy double.
Come on, man.
That's what you called it. I said,
come on, extra
that
hot?
actually has a
Who's your
double
pick?
entendre.
Who's your pick?
I'm going to go Georgia, and I actually don't think it's going to be close.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an ugly game.
I'm going Notre Dame.
I'm going to go 27-10.
I'll go Notre Dame. Don't know what the line is, but give me Notre Dame.
Notre Dame straight up.
I like Notre Dame.
I'm going to go Georgia straight up. Okay. Kiss of death.
And one more?
Gary Striewski. What's that?
Oregon, Ohio State.
We're going to get to that.
We'll do a deeper dive.
We're going to get to that. Yeah. It is time now for Built for Success.
Yeah, it is.
Presented by Ram Trucks, and it's sort of in the microscope, in the old Petri dish.
Oh.
We're going to go ahead and take a look and put a focus on one of these matchups in particular, the rematch of all rematches, Ohio State and Oregon in the quarterfinals. First rendition of this matchup, one of the best games of the year. Oregon 32-31. Ohio State had a chance at the end, but of course the Will Howard slide seen and heard all around college football. He was Will a little too chill. You know what I mean? Thought he had a little bit more time on the clock. Turns out
he's
did
on
not.
record as being a chill guy, but you can't be too chill of the guy. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't too chill in that matchup against Tennessee.
And that's what they're looking forward to.
Absolutely.
They want more of that Will to thrill the Buckeye faithful.
They absolutely do. The
Yeah.
thing is, they're not going to have the cold working for them this time. I feel like the
Indeed.
cold truly sapped Tennessee. Here we
Sure.
are out at the Rose Bowl. Picture perfect.
What sounds cooler, Will the Thrill or Dill the Thrill?
Probably Dill the Thrill.
Dill the Thrill's pretty sick.
Probably Thrill Dill, I think is what they call him.
Excuse me? You got to be careful, though.
Say that one more time.
You gotta be
it does
careful.
beg the question, though, as Dylan Gabriel is patrolling the other sideline
Yeah.
for Oregon, and you got Will Howard for Ohio State. If you had to pick, if you had to pick one of these guys to lead your offense, who you
Okay,
going with?
if I'm picking just a guy to lead, I'm going with one of the Heisman finalists.
Oh,
in Dylan Gabriel.
sturdy
I
limb.
mean, listen, he's.
Yeah.
It's not that I trust the limb not to break. I trust Dylan Gabriel's wings to keep him afloat.
Oh.
All right, if the branch
We're floating now.
If the branch were to break, Dylan Gabriel, all-time FBS leader in yards and in touchdowns, and yes, Will Howard manufactured a fantastic game in that opening round win against Tennessee, but it was a lot of his playmakers too. Jeremiah Smith, best freshman receiver in the country, and that two-headed beast in the backfield. Each one of those position players getting 2 touchdowns. It's very, very rare. It's actually happened only one time in his tenure at Oregon that Dylan Gabriel has not manufactured a touchdown, been responsible for. I just trust him leading an already high-powered Oregon offense that we don't have to say which version are we getting. We've had to say that about Ohio State this year.
Yeah. I think in a vacuum, we're going with Gabriel. I think
Correct.
that's the safest
But
skill
the hot
set
hand right now is Ohio State.
Yeah, that's true. You wonder if Oregon, if the layoff works against them.
I think so.
You know what I mean? To be perfect, which is obviously they're the only team to run the table so far to get to this point. They've earned that bye to be sure. And everybody's nicked up this time of the year. I get it. And you get to stay on the left coast. You get to go down to Pasadena and play in the Rose Bowl. But I just feel like college players in particular are players of routine.
Yeah.
And I feel like Gabriel especially, you get on time with everything through your game week and through your game prep. You wonder if Ohio State sort of, like you said, they had a game. They came off of that beating by Michigan.
Yeah, got it out of their mouth quickly.
Got it done, and they played pissed off. They played angry.
Yeah.
And you wonder if they got hot, if they had the opportunity to get hot while Oregon just stayed stagnant. I don't know. But Gabriel is the answer. These two
So you think Oregon comes out rusty?
I do.
You think Oregon does not look like the same Oregon that ran the table, deserved and earned this 1 overall seed, and is the remaining only undefeated in FBS?
Absolutely. If the bar is perfection, are they gonna? You can't exceed that bar.
Sure.
Coming in against an Ohio State defense that looked so good against Tennessee.
But then again, Tennessee quite literally played in the coldest game at kickoff they've ever played in, which was 25 degrees. And listen, it's not balmy this time of year up there in Eugene, right? So yes, they're taking it to Pasadena where weather's not going to be a factor, but Ohio State had every single factor working in their favor. Nico Iamaleava didn't manufacture anything. And these are absolutely opposite contrasting quarterbacks, right? Nico Iamaleava manufactured 100 yards passing. Dylan Gabriel might have that in the first quarter.
He could have that. Well, and who's our non-Ashton Jeanty favorite running back in all of college football?
Jordan James.
No, I was going to say Dylan Sampson.
Oh, okay.
And Sampson.
I want to talk to Sampson.
I want to talk to Sampson. Fly me to the moon. Like, he didn't play in that. He hardly played in that game against Ohio State. So Oregon's going to have its entire weaponry available.
Yeah.
I think, they do come out a little rusty.
Okay.
Ohio State has to capitalize. They have to.
Sure.
And Jeremiah Smith's a big part of that.
Yeah.
His stat line against Tennessee was insane. 6 grabs over 100 yards. had the touchdown. He also ate against Oregon the first time around. The stat line was 9 grabs, 100 yards, and a touchdown. What do you expect from him? Still just a freshman.
Same.
Same?
Same.
In the rematch.
He's a 6'3", 250. He's Marvin Harrison Jr. all over again for Ohio State.
Yeah.
He's bigger, stronger, faster, and younger than everybody else that he's playing against. I mean, all Will Howard has to do is shoot. I know Jeremiah Smith down there somewhere. Just yeet!
Yeah.
And then more oftentimes than not, Jeremiah Smith going to come down with that football.
Yeah.
He's going to be the factor for Ohio State in this game because Oregon State has a good rush defense. So whether it's Quishon Junkins or Chevion Henderson, I don't think they find as much success. Each one of those running backs had 10 carries for over 60 yards and 2 touchdowns each against Tennessee, who again, in that environment, they weren't ready for. I think Ohio State quells that, I think Oregon quells the running backs quicker and better and more efficiently than they do. Not just Jeremiah Smith, but Emeka Egbuka had a game against Tennessee as well.
He's sort of the forgotten
It's wide
man.
receiver man. They're
is.
freaking good.
Well, listen, who's the top wide receiver out there in Seattle
They
right
are
now?
freaking-
It's Jackson
that's
Smith
right,
and
that's what I'm
Jigba.
saying.
And they were all in the same room. It was
Yeah.
JSN. It was who'd you just say?
Jeremiah Smith,
No.
Emeka Egbuka.
Emeka Egbuka. It was
Yeah.
like they were all in the same room at
Yeah.
the same time. Marvin Harrison Jr. It was
Yeah.
insane. It was an incredible room. Dovetail off of that, though, I really do think the running backs for Ohio State are going to be the difference in this.
Okay.
Because Tennessee like to live dangerously. They put their defensive backs on an island against Jeremiah Smith. It's a horrible way to make a living, and you saw why. I feel like the script is out now. Oregon is going to go ahead and drop back in a probably too high look against these wide receivers of Ohio State. It's going to be the ground game. I feel like they're going to be running lanes early on.
Okay.
And that's also a good way to keep Dylan Gabriel off the field.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
Now, the defense for Ohio State. They've only allowed 20 points in one game all season long. It was against Oregon. That was out in Eugene last time. Do you anticipate the same? Do you think we see the same result? I think ultimately it's results-based business, but do you see the same result from Oregon against this Ohio State defense?
I would normally say, and if we didn't have a recent example to run contrast to this, I would say it is so hard, nearly impossible for elite programs to beat one another, the same team twice in a season. And I would stake my entire claim on that going into this matchup, which means Ohio State would end up besting Oregon. But we saw Texas lose to Georgia twice this season.
Yeah.
So that sort of runs contrary into the face of that proclamation. So I guess all that to say, am I making my pick right here? Is this my
Go
pick
ahead.
right?
Yeah, why not?
I'm going Oregon.
Okay.
I'll pick
Okay.
Oregon. Listen, the 3 weeks could be suspect. And the 3 weeks, if you were banged up, and everybody's banged up this time of year, but there were no integral injuries to a lot of the integral opponents, offensively speaking, for Oregon. Correct me if I'm wrong. So do I see them maybe coming out a little bit slow to start the game? Sure, but also at the same time, youth is wasted on the young, and these young bucks, man, they might come out firing just like they didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
I didn't miss a beat.
I can see. I'm gonna go Ohio State.
You're picking Ohio State?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ohio State. Let's go ahead and
You're
mark
playing
this
the hot
down.
hand.
I'm gonna play the hot hand. I
Okay.
think they are, like I said.
You scared of Ryan
angry.
Day?
I think.
You think Ryan Day can coach up in a big game?
We love Dan Lanning.
Who do you like better?
Dan Lanning.
or
Dan
Ryan
Lanning.
Day?
Dan Lanning. Dan
Okay.
Lanning. Yes.
So
I like the quarterback better.
you like Will Howard more
I
than
like
Dylan
Will
Gabriel?
Howard. I like Will Howard better for
Explain
this
yourself.
for this system. For this system.
To hand the ball
I think
off.
if Dylan Gabriel. Yes, I really do. I really do. I think he's learned his lesson. I think he made the big mistake in the big moment. Just like you said, it's hard for the same big-time program to beat the other big-time program twice in one season. I think it's hard for the same senior quarter. This guy's a Midwest Dylan Gabriel, really.
Yeah.
Like, he's traveled around a little bit. He's on his third school. I think he's not going to make the same mistake, and that's all it came down to. Ohio State was driving for the game-winning field goal.
Okay.
I think it is going to be another game of who has the ball last. I think it's going to be lower scoring. I like Ohio State. I think
Taking
they're
the under.
pissed off after what happened to Michigan. Yeah, Yes, I will take the under. As a matter of fact,
I don't know what the line is
That
set
is
at,
the
but I'll
Rose Bowl.
hammer the over.
That is the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Let's look at some of the other games. The rest of the slate of games again.
These are
as you
juicy.
see on your screen, VRBO Fiesta Bowl, Penn State and Boise State, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Texas and Arizona State. We told you about the Rose Bowl game, and of course it all wraps up on New Year's Day, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, Notre Dame and Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. You know what time it is. It's time for that man to hold that L. It's time for Battle of the
I thought it was
Anchorweights.
time for you to wardrobe change.
The concept of time is a bit loose. It's a bit fluid this
Hey,
morning.
it
Yes.
sure is.
It's 5-3 on the scoreboard for the season. Battle of the Anchor Weights, season long.
Golf
Randy
scoring.
5. Golf scoring.
Golf score, low score wins.
Ooh, can't make that change this late in the season.
Okay.
The game here is called Memory Swap.
Ah, yes.
You know I'm great with faces. Names.
Fantastic.
I am nails with it. So,
You are
George,
so good.
you right now are down 5-3 on the season. The game is they're going
Yes.
to put up a still from a game, a moment in the college football season. We have to say where that is.
Many weeks to choose from, 13 to be exact, regular season weeks.
Or yes,
Or
even
potentially in the playoffs.
The playoff as well, correct. So once they throw it up there, if we get it right, great. If we don't, then we suck.
Understood.
But we're going to try to find a winner out of this, and you're going to try to close the gap on the
So
overall
this
score.
still, I have to guess from
This still.
which game?
Yes, this still from which game?
From which game? This is when Vanderbilt beat Bama.
Erroneous. I don't think you got this right. Am I allowed to guess? Am I allowed to
Really?
guess or no?
I'm
No,
using-
I'm not allowed to guess. Okay, so you say when Vandy. Well, I think you're looking at certain. Yeah, you're right. You saw there were kids wearing Vandy gear. Okay, congrats.
Well, there's also a kid wearing Mississippi State,
Wait
and there's
for-
a kid wearing an Eli Manning jersey.
For sleuthing it out.
First of all, I'm a
Nice
detective.
job.
First of all, if I
Nice job.
wasn't,
You got it right.
If I wasn't a B-list, all right, social media / television sports personality,
Understood.
I would be an A-list FBI detective.
Oh.
That was my backup plan.
That's a fact.
But then I threw the backup plan out the window, right?
Yes.
Because if you don't believe in yourself that you're going to get to the
Yeah, you
Plan
throw our
A.
federal government out the window.
You
No,
know what
that's
I'm
fine.
saying?
You're a real
For sure.
patriot.
And also, I did apply to be in the FBI.
Did you really?
Declined.
Also, you get slotted around the. You have no say over where they
Correct.
put you.
And I was ready to leave Middle
You're ready to
America.
go everywhere.
I was ready to leave Denver, Colorado.
My man.
$56,000 out of college back in 2010. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, I would have been a millionaire.
I think it's up to 60 these days.
Yeah.
All right, number
Big
2
cash.
coming up. Do I get to guess at this one?
So I'm up
I get to guess
1-0.
at this one. This man is sad. He is reading a book.
But
literally
he's-
no other context.
But let me tell you this.
Oh, my God,
Those
the book
B
guy.
cups? B cups?
I don't.
Those B cups?
I don't know what's in his bag there. I have to guess.
B cups.
Or can I skip it? Am I allowed to skip
No!
it? I don't remember correctly.
No,
Hold on.
you can't skip it.
I gotta guess,
Buddy,
huh?
use your context clues.
What? It's a blowout game. It's a sad stadium.
He's
it's
wearing
warm.
jeans.
It's warm. It's got to be in the South somewhere.
Super tan.
I'm gonna say this is Alabama.
That's not what I
No,
would
no,
guess.
the last one was Alabama.
No, he already said Alabama.
No, hold on.
Verbal's binding. It's like poker.
No, this is a blowout.
Clock. 5, 4,
Ole
3,
Miss loses to Kentucky. Ole Miss loses
This
to
is for
Kentucky.
sure Florida State,
Ole Miss
Doak
loses to
Walker
Kentucky.
somewhere.
Ah!
Oh! I don't even get the
Was that
point.
this year?
I don't even get the points unless I do court in the control room. Do I
you don't
get the points?
You don't get the points. No points for
I
Gary, but you're still up 1-0.
immediately saw this. I saw a tanned, shirtless
tan.
man.
Yeah.
B cups minimum.
But also well read.
correct.
Because that book was dog-eared.
Also, yes. And I'm like down south because he's in jeans.
He's not in a book club, he's in a kennel club
Florida
because all of
men-
his books are dog-eared.
and he's got that dog in him.
And he's got that dog in him.
I'm like,
Yes.
this
All right,
is dope.
Third one for Gary. You can take a commanding 2-0
Florida State
lead
all day.
on this
Okay.
event. Wow, more context clues. Look at this.
Arizona State.
look at this.
Arizona State.
Look at this nightmare fuel right here.
That guy's got a family.
Yeah, I know. In his no, I'm not gonna make the jokes.
what
Not
are you
gonna make the
gonna
jokes. No, that's fine. He's probably watching. Okay, so what about Arizona State? Because you can't just say Arizona State when you see a Sparky in the background.
Well, this is Arizona State.
Yeah, no.
Hey,
Give me
real
more.
quick.
It doesn't
I'm
count.
I'm also gonna go behind.
Give me
here.
more.
This
is it?
hairline is insane.
That's incredible.
This is
That's
the
an incredible
hairline
hairline.
dreams are made out of. Are you kidding me?
But give me context.
This dude's hairline is in tomorrow.
Context.
Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham, they just won a big game.
Nope. More.
Again.
Give me something.
Cor, are you just making up? This is Arizona State when they beat.
Give me somebody. They beat a lot of teams because they're in the college football
they
playoff.
beat every
Five.
team that they played.
4. Courtney, tell me.
No,
4.
she's
She
not-
is. She just
she's
said
not
3.
saying that.
She counted down for 5. 2. 1.
Arizona State, BYU.
Arizona State, BYU. Let's see it.
They never played BYU.
Oh, it's
Utah.
Utah. Do we want to give them no points? Is that what I heard? No points. Oh.
They never even played Utah.
Ooh, rats. Okay, they did. All right, I got to tie this thing. I got to tie. Right now, you're up 1-0 in this event. Let's see this still. You're up 1-0 in this event. I get the 4th crack at this. No, I know the score. Thank you. You don't have to give me a visual representation. Let's see the still. This is Shaq. This is LSU. This is LSU against, who did LSU beat? LSU I remember this because isn't
They didn't win this game.
isn't Molly McGrath doing this?
Yeah, but they didn't win this game, remember.
LSU. Oh, this is LSU Bama.
Clock.
This is LSU Bama.
5,
Bama beat the hell out of
4.
them. Bama beat the doors off.
Pretty sure.
Bama beat
I
the
see an Ole
doors
Miss
off
graphic.
of them.
I see an Ole Miss
That's Molly.
graphic in
I
the
said
back.
Molly. I said
Yeah,
Molly.
but you said Bama.
Yeah. Oh, it was Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Dude, you
Dang
didn't
it.
see the Ole Miss graphic in the back?
No,
Bro,
I
use
don't.
your-
I don't cheat.
Buddy,
I don't
use your
cheat.
context clues one time.
Cheat one time. I knew that it was Molly. I felt like that was enough, but it wasn't enough. What, half point? Did I
No,
hear?
listen,
No points.
you're
Yeah,
playing,
Courtney
you're
runs
playing
the
this
tight
game
ship.
as
Yeah.
if you are. Never mind. You know
Yeah.
what?
Fifth
forget
one.
it. Forget
Play
it.
5 for you.
All right,
Ready?
here we go.
Here it is.
I'm gonna get it.
Here
Ready?
it is.
I don't
Let's
even.
see it.
I don't even
From
look
the
at it.
ACC.
Miami just beat Cal.
Okay. Yeah, you're looking at the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this was one of the greatest game day
I had a
Saturdays
dude
we've had
reading a
of all time.
book against metal slats.
Just because-
Metal stands. That's what
And
I had.
I knew it
That's
was Florida State.
That's all I had.
Buddy, just because you've never read a book doesn't mean that you can't use the context.
All right. 2-0, commanding lead for Gary. I got to get this right. This one's worth 3 points. Let's see.
Wait.
All right, let's see. Let's see what this one is. The last still. It's 2-0. This is obviously
Are you
TCU.
serious,
This is obviously TCU against Colorado, but they didn't play this year.
That was last year.
Yeah.
That was the season opener last year.
Yeah, I know. So, hold on. Let's make sure. Phi Kappa Sigma, of course. I
I remember this game.
mean,
I remember it.
yeah, it was the one that Colorado won. It was.
No, this was from 2 years ago. But you can't use 2 years ago.
Well, then why is it in here? I don't understand. But yeah, it's TCU. That's not from this year. I promise. They didn't.
TCU.
They didn't play this year.
They
Did
did.
they?
And look, Travis Hunter just got an interception.
I know Travis Hunter got an interception, but he did that last year in the same game, in the same matchup.
You think that was last year's
Was that
prediction?
this year? That's wild.
Where-
They go
where-
back to back, maybe home and home.
Where have you been?
Buddy,
Where have you
right
been?
here, been 10 toes down.
Since
So I
when?
got that.
Since-
So it's 2-1.
No, you didn't.
I did. I said it was against. I said it was TCU Colorado.
Or are we awarding him the point?
I said it was TCU Colorado. Oh, it's
was that
over.
the last one?
Oh, okay. Congrats.
Hey.
5-4 in the overall
Appreciate
scoreboard.
that. Thank you very much.
5-4 in the overall
we got
scoreboard.
one more show after this show on the Kickoff presented by Ram. And the next battle of the anchor weights is
that-
worth Family Feud rules.
I'm-
100 points.
But I'm told actually that was the last battle of the anchor weights of the year.
You're getting bad information.
So. All
You're
right.
getting bad information.
I feel like that was it. So we're going to say goodbye for now. We're going to see everybody January 17th.
That's the one.
Is the next show. We're going to preview the national championship game. 12 college football playoff teams down to one matchup. That's it for Battle of the Anchor Weights. Congrats to me on the season series win. Gary is going to dress a little bit better for the next kickoff presented by Ram Trucks.
I hate this guy.
Just a little bit.